South Carolina State off the field. Now it's time for the offense, who have scored 30 points in consecutive ball games. Time for the offense to get going.
So it is 1st and 10 for North Carolina A&T. The officials have given Kennedy the 34-yard line, so that is where Kevin White and company will get started on this drive. Twins formation. Delayed handoff. Nothing doing for the Aggies. Well, while we have a second, I want to highlight the fact that the South Carolina State Marching Band has actually made the trip up to Greensboro for a homecoming game. First time in over a decade that an opposing marching band has actually been in the house for a homecoming game. Chancellor James Martin here at A&T wanted to make sure that we were celebrating the 135th anniversary of the Morrill Act. It's the Land Grant University Act, and with both schools being land-grant institutions and HBCUs, he thought it would go ahead and enhance today's atmosphere, and it's always fun when there's going to be a fifth quarter for us to celebrate as well.
And you know, when HBCU bands get together, that's a game within the game, a battle in itself, and as the players on the field do battle, the bands will do so as well at halftime and after the ball game.
After that first down reception, the Aggies will get back to work on its own 46. Graves tries to spin out of a tackle, cannot, but is able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
The Aggies are going to continue to run the football. It won't be discouraged or deterred by the minimum gains. As Coach Gibbs, a former running back, understands the importance of running the football, not only to keep the defense honest, but to, again, stay ahead of the sticks.
Well, he's wearing his RBU shirt today. Tariq Cohen on the sideline. White over the middle. That one deflected and will fall harmlessly to the ground. Deflected. As it'll bring up third down.
White coming off of his initial read, scanning the field. Tries to fire one over the middle. Incomplete, but again, third and long, not the situation that you want to be in offensively if you're North Carolina A&T.
Third and long, working into a heavy wind. Not conducive for a throwing situation. White towards the outside. That one off the hands of Dillard. He's now been high towards Dillard 3 times here in the first quarter.
Your ball sailing on Kevin White just a bit, and that's mechanics. If you're White, and as the game progresses, you mentioned not cleared to play the first couple of games of this season. Missed all of last year pretty much with the injury, so still working his way back. And early in this ball game, these passes are starting to sail, and that's a mechanics thing for Kevin White. He'll get that cleaned up as the game goes on.
And if you're wondering why you're not seeing a play clock on your screen, folks, it's because the play clock is out here at the stadium, and so time is being kept on the field for the 40-second clock. Page, short end-over-end wobbly punt that will take an A&T roll to the 25-yard line. So it will be the worst starting field position for South Carolina State, despite the troubles on the punt. We'll take a timeout. 0-0 ball game in Greensboro. We're back after this. Achieve their best potential. The All Aggies All In capital campaign aims to bring together regular Aggies from across the spectrum to raise critical additional scholarship dollars and funds to address other priority needs that shape the student-athlete experience. Whether you can give $5 or $500, there's a place for you in the All Aggies All In campaign. So get in where you fit in. We invite you to take out your cell phone and text GIVE to AAF to 71777. That's GIVE to AAF to 71777 on your cell phone messaging app. We have another flag that has flown out. Is starting to sound like a broken record here in the first quarter, Damian.
Nice gain on first down by South Carolina State, but when you get over there to that Bulldog sideline,
after the play,
let's see what the penalty is.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 2 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
That will be an unnecessary roughness call against Jamal Purefoy Thaxton. I'm sure Sean Gibbs is not going to be happy about that. That moves South Carolina State up to the 48.
You've been winning the field position battle so far in this first quarter. You don't want to help out your opponent.
Stubblefield completes the pass to Johnson. He'll get angled out of bounds. The initial spot is just shy of the first down marker. That might have been a tough spot for the Bulldogs there. Aaron Harris on the tackle.
Inside Aggie territory at the 44.
The handoff.
There you see how that. Sorry about that, partner. That spot on first down. Now you get the no gain stop there on second. That brings up third and short. So the spot on first down was super important.
It's a great point. Pickett Hicks has it and more. That pile moving as the Bulldogs will move the chains.
Good leg drive there. Pick up the first down. As South Carolina State now on the move with the help of an A&T penalty.
First down and 10 at the Aggie 36.
So 1st and 10 from the 36. Stubblefield working out of the gun. Under pressure. Throws over the middle. And that one is batted away by Aaron Harris. That was some tight coverage.
Yeah, Aaron Harris in the back pocket of the receiver. And we've talked about Aaron Harris here. Had a really good season last year. Opposite Karan Prunty. Prunty's moved on. Aaron Harris now CB1, cornerback 1, and living up to the hype so far this season.
Had a career-high 9 tackles at Maine a few weeks ago. 4 tackles last week at William & Mary. Pickett Hicks. Nowhere to go. Josh Isaiah, who had that interception earlier, came rushing in for the stop. And it brings up 3rd and long.
Again, defensively, A&T doing a really good job so far against the run. And you know the Bulldogs want to run the football. Aggies not giving a lot of ground up on the ground so far.
This Bulldog offense averaging just under 400 yards a game. So far today, just 60.
Big 3rd down here. 3rd and long. Depends on what you get, maybe 4-down territory.
Stubblefield rolls out. Trying to throw. And does almost intercepted along that near sideline. And it will fall incomplete. And you mentioned it there. And actually, there might be a flag on the play. I see a flag in front of Sean Gibbs on the sideline.
Not sure what the flag is. We'll see what the call is. But this is kind of no man's land territory. You know, long field goal is probably out of the question. You don't want to punt it. Kick it into the end zone for a touchback. So we'll see what this call is first.
Let's hear from Terry Jones.
Illegal forward pass. Number 2 of the
It
offense.
looked like Stubblefield was beyond the line of scrimmage when he let that one go.
It'll be 4th down.
So the loss of yards and the loss of down forced South Carolina State into punt territory as opposed to potential go-for-it yardage.
And almost intercepted as well.
Janish on to kick this away.
Is on the punt, back deep.
It's Kennedy back deep for A&T inside his own 10. The drop kick. And that will take a South Carolina State bounce as it is downed at the 5. So a perfectly executed punt inside the 20 for Elliot Janish, the senior out of Midwest City, Oklahoma.
And that's the best that you can hope for South Carolina State on that punt play to get it inside the 5-yard line. But A&T has a little bit of breathing room, not quite against the goal line. So Aggies defensively, though, so far, they've been up to the test in this ball game.
I think the only thing that would have been better would have been the Pat McAfee coffin kick right into the corner, but that's a whole other animal right there. 1st and 10 from the 5 for A&T. Smith ducks his head and failed to get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose 1.5 yards.
And this is the time for one of my keys to the game, win in the trenches. If you're North Carolina A&T, you got to get push up front to get the run game going. On the first drive, run game had a couple of nice plays on the ground with Wesley Graves, but since that moment, Bulldogs have been able to stymie the run attack from A&T.
So White working out of the shotgun in his own end zone. A handoff to Smith. He's got a hole. That closed quickly. Able to gain a few.
It looked like Smith had a crease there, but you mentioned closed up quickly, and Tyler Smith cleaning up the play, sets up a 3rd and long here for the Aggies.
Brings up 3rd down and 7 for the Aggies.
And actually, it was Jordan Franklin on the stop. Double number there.
That's what happens when you listen to the announcer for the name instead of looking at your
play sheet,
your roster sheet. Yes.
Play action. Nice block there as Luntz came charging in. White hit near the sideline, and we'll get angled out. And now a late flag comes in. That will give A&T a 1st down.
Yeah, White, I think that the official initially was going to let it go, but White kind of...
White sold it. He went flying onto the track.
He kind of sold it. He flew out of bounds.
That's what you have to do.
After the play.
Well, anything...
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 1 of the defense.
To get your team a 1st down.
His first of the game.
Whatever you got to do.
15-yard penalty. Automatic.
They're actually going to call it unsportsmanlike conduct, so something else must have happened. And talk about a drive saver. I mean, if you're Chanis Berry over on that far sideline, you have to be livid right now.
And what it is a 1st down where you were going to get the ball back on a punt. You're going to have good field position. So, you know, those are the flags that you just can't stand as a head coach.
Jamari Reed, who got called for the penalty over on that far sideline with his helmet off. Can't believe it. So White will work with a single back. It's Graves. Takes the handoff, and that Bulldog defense absolutely suffocating. Giving up 136 yards per game on the ground. Last game, just 33 yards allowed on the ground to Savannah State.
And defensively, South Carolina State, they're usually really good on the defensive side of the ball. They put players into the NFL, so you know there's talent in the state of South Carolina. So as this game progresses, A&T will have to find a way to run the football for positive yardage.
Not just players. I mean, Darius Leonard, 4 Football Hall of Famers. This is a South Carolina State program that is incredible.
Well,
really.
That's why I said players. I didn't just say they have NFL talent. They put multiple guys, as you mentioned, Hall of Famers. You know, shouts out to South Carolina State in their program. Historically, they've been really good.
A&T, of course, with the first HBCU Pro Football Hall of Famer.
The more you know.
Elvin Bethea.
It's a lot of NFL Hall of Famers from HBCU schools.
Of course. White throws. That one is complete to Dillard. And that will be good for a 1st down as Dillard finally able to haul one in. He's been targeted 4 times.
And that's a big 3rd down pickup, and you don't see that often. Dillard stopped mid-route to catch the ball, like stopped his momentum completely to make sure that he caught that one, able to gather it and pick up the 1st.
Now A&T working quickly. Warren able to secure that catch around the 44. And I don't know if you noticed it there. I'm sure you did, but Luntz over pursuing now as he's trying to find an angle, as that offensive line may have figured out the secret sauce on how to stop him. He's been phenomenal this season. 23 tackles and 6 sacks coming into this one.
Sounds like a box-to-row All-American written all over that young man.
That will do it for the first quarter of action. Goose eggs across the board at the end of the first. When we return, the Aggies will continue driving. We're back after this on Flow College.
Everyone, the past 2 weeks of practices have been different in the best way. There's been a lot more energy. All the players are chipping in, competing, bought in. The coaches are leading by example with passion and spirit. Coach Gibbs said he feels like just having a strong performance that last game against William & Mary shows the players how important it is to have a good practice and to stack those practices together. Spencer, Damien, back to you guys.
Thank you, Raven. As the Aggies keep that one on the ground.
Thank you.
Wesley Graves, now 7 carries on the day. It'll bring up third and a very manageable 1.
Yeah, exactly where you want to be offensively. If you're A&T, third and short, third and very manageable. Entire playbook is open. You also have to account for the legs of Kevin White.
A handoff to Graves. He's got the first down and more into Bulldog territory. Gets a block down the numbers towards the sideline, and he's angled out of bounds at the 20.
What athleticism, what balance from the big guy. Wesley Graves able to stay on his feet, looking like a dancing polar bear in this frigid weather with the spin move. And we mentioned Wesley Graves, even though he's a bruiser, he'll give you a 15, 20-yard run per game. He's good for 80 so far this season.
Sean Gibbs so high on Graves at his weekly press conference on Monday. A guy that's been through it all here. Now it's Smith's turn. Cuts upfield, lowers his shoulder, and he's met by a pack of dogs in the red zone.
Again, Aggie starting to, on this drive, pick up good yardage on the ground. And that's what you want to do. That run game sets up everything else in your offense, makes it so much easier for your quarterback to make plays from his position when the run game is doing a lot of the work.
Back to the ground game, and a flag comes in the vicinity of holding.
And every time you say something good about
1 step forward, 2 steps back.
And again, those penalties that can kill your drive. Now you are in field goal range.
Number 57.
Aggies have a fantastic field goal kicker, and Andrew Brown, but you don't want 3, you want 6. You want to keep your drives moving forward, and these penalties just make it difficult to overcome.
So now the ball placed out of the red zone at the 26.
Still Andrew Brown territory.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is a guy that's kicked a 52-yarder before, and every kick that we've seen this season looks like it could be good from 60. White throws. He got hit on the arm as it came out. Looks like it's going to be marked incomplete. It'll bring up third down.
White, pocket collapsing around him. Hit as he throws it. Ruled incomplete, but now sets up third and long, and you may not get all of it for a first down, but you want to get a good chunk of it so Andrew Brown can have an easier go about it for a field goal.
Do you keep it towards the middle of the field here if you can?
I let the defense, I see what the defense is lining up in, and if you're man coverage, I'm taking a shot. You got good skill position, speed on the outside. You see here, safety's down in the box. Single high safety.
White Under pressure, lofts it towards the end zone, and that one is incomplete.
And I'm an offensive coordinator in a defensive back's body. White taking a shot, sees the single coverage. He took a shot. Jamison Warren broke the route down. Now it's going to set up a long field goal for Andrew Brown.
It'll be a 44-yard attempt for Brown.
The 44-yard field goal. Number 39, Andrew Brown.
This is well within Brown's range.
The holder is DJ Page. The kick is up. And it is good. A&T strikes first. 3-0 Aggies. We'll take a timeout in Greensboro. A&T leads South Carolina State 3-0. We're back after this.
Wesley Graves start that drive for the Aggies and just give him a little bit of a spark. Wesley is just known to be a hard worker. Every time he leaves the field, he's dripping in sweat, whether it's practice, whether it's the game. Coach Gibbs is just truly a fan of his. Now, Wesley is in his graduate year. He decided to stay through the transition of coaches. When asked why, he said it's because he just loves Coach Gibbs. Coach Gibbs is the reason that he stayed. Coming out of high school, Wesley said Coach Gibbs was one of the only coaches that gave him the opportunity to play on the college level. He didn't have a lot of chances coming out of high school. Coach Gibbs was just swells with pride when he talks about Wesley, saying players like him are who he wants to win for. He's the type of player he wants other players to model after he has his degree, but still comes in and works hard. He doesn't make it about him. It's not about the accolades or the amount of yards he's rushing. He just wants to win the game. Back to you guys.
Andrew Brown sends this one deep with the wind into the end zone, and that will be a touchback for the Bulldogs.
So the last drive for A&T, they're able to get the run game going and get into scoring position, drive bogged down close to the red zone, but with a weapon like Andrew Brown, you get in that field goal range, you get on the board, get a good feeling about yourself now. Defense has been playing pretty good so far for A&T. South Carolina State, on the other hand, they're not running the ball how they're accustomed to doing it. Let's see on this drive if they'll try to dedicate this drive to the run game.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs at their 25.
It'll be 1st and 10 for South Carolina State, and Stubblefield will stay in at quarterback. The pitch to Pickett Hicks, and he will get escorted out of bounds.
Again, run game not popping so far for South Carolina State, but, you know, as a coaching staff on either side, you're not deterred by the small games. You keep at it, and eventually you hope to pop one, but so far defensively, A&T has had the answer for the running game for South Carolina State.
Brings up 2nd and 8. Stubblefield over the middle and completes that one to Cyrus Ellison.
To number 14, Cyrus Ellison.
A good catch and adjusting to that pass by Ellison, but it's going to set up 3rd and short here for South Carolina State.
Aggie Nation, it's third down.
On the ground on 3rd down. And the initial spot says move the chains.
Not a ton of yards on that carry, but just enough to keep the drive going as South Carolina State's trying to answer that field goal from A&T.
It's enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at their 36.
1st and 10 for South Carolina State. It's Smith on the carry. He breaks free for a little and has another 1st down for South Carolina State. It's the first real big chunk of yardage that the Bulldogs have been able to gain on offense today.
You took the words out of my mouth. Best offensive play of the ball game for South Carolina State, and the best run by far of this one so far is, you know, the Bulldogs, they want to run the football, and as most teams do, and hadn't been able to do so, but that was a good game for South Carolina State.
So the Bulldogs driving. The end around to Johnson. nowhere to go. That door is shut in his face as that Aggies linebacking core able to chase him down.
A tough going running a jet sweep, reverse to that boundary side, and not a lot of room. Again, defensively, Aggies have been stepping up to the challenge so far in this first half.
Second and 11. Hard count. Nobody budges. So a new play will come into Stubblefield. Plants himself, throws it, and completes the pass to DeAndre Ruffin on the sideline.
Threw that one on a line. Ruffin goes up and gets it, and couldn't wait on that one. Defender just a nanosecond too late. And that's a big play through the air for South Carolina State.
Stubblefield didn't even drop back. He just turned his foot and launched it. The pitch. Tried to do the old running back pass, and that one sniffed out.
Aaron Harris, a veteran in the secondary, not fooled by that one. Hicks has to pull it down and get as much as he can. For South Carolina State, best offensive drive so far in this first half.
Stubblefield pulls it and slides in safely like he just stole second base.
The quarterbacks, they're starting to do that more often. Now, I'm a fan of quarterbacks selling out for your team. I'm not
You're
sliding.
a defensive guy, though.
Yeah, but I want my quarterback. I don't
want the lick.
No, I don't want the quarterback to slide. I want the quarterback to get as many yards as possible. If that's my teammate, I'm not a fan of the slide.
Some of them want to keep playing.
This is not baseball.
Some of them want to be able to play.
You put on pads just like the defenders. Be a man. I'm 40.
Okay, Mike Gundy. Stubblefield tucks it again. Throws on the run, and he was past the line of scrimmage. That's the second time today he has done that.
The happy feet as Stubblefield saw a little bit of pressure in the backfield. Penalty on the field.
Illegal forward pass. Number 2 of the offense. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Accompanied by
That's a testament, though, to the Aggies' defensive line. A D-line that has not gotten a major rush for most of the season might have finally figured out how to get that pressure on a consistent basis.
But when you start playing better, although it hadn't resulted in wins these last 2 weekends, it's a light at the end of the tunnel.
You can feel the confidence starting to build a little bit for the blue and gold.
Exactly.
It'll be Nico Cavanilis Alti on for the 48-yard field goal. And this one, no good.
And Aaron Harris off the corner, I think affected that kick. Didn't block it, but got close, and that one was no good.
We'll take a timeout. A&T holding on to a 3-0 lead. We're back after this. Intercollegiate athletics are on the rise in North Carolina A&T, and you can play an important part in helping our student athletes achieve their best potential. The All Aggies All-In Capital campaign aims to bring together regular Aggies from across the spectrum to raise critical additional scholarship dollars and funds to address other priority needs that shape the student athlete experience. Whether you can give $5 or $500, there's a place in the All Aggies All-In campaign for you. So get in where you fit in. We invite you to take out your cell phone and text GIVE to AAF to 71777. That's GIVE to AAF to 71777 on your cell phone messaging app today.
Big defensive stop for A&T. That last possession forcing the field goal that was missed from South Carolina State. Now the Aggies momentum as they take control on the offensive end.
So 1st and 10 for North Carolina A&T from its own 30. It'll be that bunch trips formation to the bottom of your screen. The slow lofted snap. White, the keeper. He'll duck under, keeps his balance, and now a flag comes in. Are they going to call an illegal pick?
And that's a flag from about the 40-yard line. It flew way in the air from an official.
Holding. Offense, number 2, 10-yard penalty. Replay.
And that takes away a good gain from Kevin White. That's a part of Kevin White's repertoire that I know that coaching staff want to take advantage of, his ability to run the football.
6 penalties for 55 yards for A&T today.
Is that bad? I'm not sure.
It's not great.
It's the
South Carolina State 6 for 45.
Is that bad? It's the first half, so you're well on your way to a hundo for both teams.
White under pressure, takes the hit, able to get rid of it. Dillard hauls it in. And now a flag comes in on the late hit.
And we'll see what this penalty is.
Roughing the passer, number 0,
the passer is
defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
South Carolina State gives the Aggies a fresh set of downs here. Dillard had a short gain there. Kevin White takes a big shot in the backfield, and that's going to be a 15-yarder. Now you look at it, Aggies got the ball near midfield.
First down and 10 for the Aggies at their 44.
So 1st and 10 from the 44 after the Bulldog penalty. Jones is the motion man. White surveying, throws over the middle, and completes it to Warren in Bulldog territory. And now a flag comes out.
Another penalty in the backfield here. Let's see what this is.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Maybe roughing the passer again.
I don't think so. I think it's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, it's in the backfield. I mean, you're allowed to celebrate after you make a big play. I don't think that it was in the face of a defender. And that one came out of the backfield, so I think they're going to pick that flag up.
Looks like they wiped it away after some conversation. I'm sure Sean Gibbs just took a deep sigh on the sideline. And
I mean, heck of a catch by Jameson Warren going up, understanding that you're going to take a hit, going up and getting the football.
Warren.
The flag was nullified. It'll be first down and 10, North Carolina A&T.
Continues his trend of having at least 2 receptions per game this season. Graves gets a block and is able to gain positive yardage.
And not a ton there, but what you do is understand that you keep at it. And Wesley Graves had a big run on the previous possession that resulted in a field goal. You don't give up on the run game. As Kevin White becomes more accurate, as he begins to complete more passes, that run game is still important as well, and Graves is a bruiser.
Brings up 2nd and 9. The screen pass set up for Jones.
White's pass is complete to Jones.
And Jones got as much as he could and gets lost on that sideline, but positive yards, going to set up a 3rd and gettable here for A&T. And if you don't get the first down, let's say you're a yard short, do you go for it or do you bring out Andrew Brown again? I mean, you're in Andrew Brown range if you're kicking 44, 47, 48 yards.
That's a tough call. White steps up, tripped up, lost the football. Let's see who comes up with it. The officials' initial spots say the Aggies.
White had a lane initially.
Luntz walked away with the ball, but looks like the head linesman, Sean Butler, claims A&T had it on the ground.
And again, there was a lane initially to the right of the guard for Kevin White. He chose to run it up the middle and lost that ball.
The one issue with all of this is the play started really slow. That snap kind of hung up there. A few times we have not seen this, where the snap has not gotten back to White. It's going to be a 55-yard attempt. This would set a new school record with the wind. Brown. On the way, it is good!
Andrew
55
Brown.
yards! A new school record for Andrew Brown.
Andrew Brown said, "Coach, put me in. I think I got a shot at it." And you mentioned, partner, with the wind, and Brown used every bit of that leg to get it over the goalpost. 55 yards out for Andrew Brown.
Before the game, you and I met with Sean Hendricks, the Associate Athletic Director and Senior Women Administrator here, who actually teaches yoga to the football team. And she said that the kickers, in particularly Andrew Brown, really enjoy the yoga pregame because it helps them balance their leg muscles. You know, they're working on that kicking leg all the time. It helps them match it on the opposite leg, helps them open up those hip flexors. It seems like Andrew Brown opened up his hip flexors about as much as possible on that one.
And some kickers will tell you that plant leg being strong is just as important as your kicking leg. And 55 yards out for Andrew Brown. And the wind has really died down. Now he has the wind, but you can look at the flags on the goalpost not moving as much as they did earlier
not even
in the
close.
ball game. And that's a big kick there for Andrew Brown.
And now Brown will send this one away into the end zone for another touchback. Oh, how about that? It's a nice weapon to have in your back pocket.
Knowing that if you get close, you got a chance with Andrew Brown. And again, finishing off a drive with points. You want touchdowns, but you'll take points nonetheless. And for A&T, good first half so far defensively. Got a goose egg on the board for South Carolina State. You've been able to kick a few field goals to take this 6-0 lead.
So 1st and 10 for South Carolina State. And there's been a quarterback change as William Atkins, the fourth, is in. That toss to the outside is complete. A&T saying they have the football.
And we'll see what the call is. Referees, they're having a conversation about it.
There has not been a call yet on the field. Looks like dual possession is going to stay with the offense for the moment. And that's exactly what happens. Wow. Let's take a look at the replay.
You see the replay here. Short pass play. Receiver never really had the football.
Oh, wow.
The previous play is under further review.
So there'll be a review.
I don't think that was dual possession. The receiver never really had the ball. It was pinned against his leg moving. Now, again, with the replay, we don't know what the call is on the field. I don't think a call was ever made.
The call was a reception.
It was a reception, so it has to be
overwhelming evidence to...
It has to be undisputed, overwhelming evidence. True. I don't think that the receiver ever truly had possession of the football, in my estimation. We'll see what the replay shows us.
Let's go ahead and send it down to the sidelines. Raven Douglas is standing by. Raven.
Thanks, guys. Andrew Money Brown, he's the only player in program history with 2+ 50-yard field goals in a season. He just got that third one of his career. Now, he talked about just having the poise under pressure, taking that field. He said that he just thinks the best thing is to not overthink. he always tells the punters, the long snappers, the more you think about it, the more you're going to mess up. We play a position that doesn't require a lot of physical aspects in the game. It's a lot mentally, so you just have to stay locked in, stay prepared, because you never know what's going to happen. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Raven. He's another one of those guys, like a Wesley Graves, that has been here through the thick and thin. He's also a guy that could have easily transferred out.
You took the words out of my mouth.
You can kick a 55-yarder. You can kick at any level.
If you can make a 55-yard field goal in college, you can make a 50-yarder in the pros. So Andrew Brown
he's gonna have
had opportunities to leave A&T, especially after the last couple of seasons. We'll see what the call is here.
And upheld.
And I think the call was upheld. Our video replay coordinator today is Joshua Marodi.
The bail bondsman call from the officials made the call late to award possession to South Carolina State, and that was a bang-bang type play, so Bulldogs keep the football.
2nd and 6. Atkins to Johnson. And that is complete at the first down marker. And that will move the chains.
Yeah, big hit on the sideline, but enough for the first down. And you keep running these deep outs. Eventually, you're going to see an out and up. Depends on how they play it in the secondary on the A&T side of the football. But a big first down pickup there from South Carolina State.
The James Madison transfer, 2 for 2 to begin his day. And there is a flag and movement that'll back the Bulldogs up 5.
Offense, number 88.
Atkins actually played quarterback
Still first down.
for James Madison in the Boca Raton Bowl last year. 16-23, 181 yards and a touchdown against Western Kentucky. At USF earlier this year, went 18 of 28 for a $151, completed 64% of his passes. So he's had success, but Chanis Berry has not been able to really lock in on one quarterback so far this year.
And Coach Berry expects excellence from the quarterback position. All knows that if you got a good signal caller, you give yourself a great opportunity to win ball games.
Atkins has time, throws over the middle, and that one is batted away. Incomplete.
Intended for number 5, George Smith.
Some would say that, you come from James Madison, you played in the bowl game and had a pretty good bowl game. You come to South Carolina State, you expect to start. But, hey, competition is competition wherever you go.
It's about who's the best on that day. And, of course, JMU starting cornerback, Alonzo Barnett, the son of an A&T quarterback, Al Barnett, a Grimsley legend right here in Greensboro. Atkins steps up, under pressure, throws, wobbly, and it'll touch the grass, incomplete. As that defensive line has been able to generate the most pressure that we have seen this season.
And not just that, I'm impressed with the entire defense. A&T, what you mentioned, win in the trenches. That was one of my keys to the game. If you can create not even just sacks, but pressure, gets the quarterback to thinking and disrupts the timing of offensive plays.
Atkins on the run. Throws, and that one just a little long. Incomplete. Puts a 4 in the box. And the punt unit for South Carolina State will enter the playing surface.
And prior to the broadcast, we were about 5 minutes before going on air. You asked me something. You were like, where's everybody? I was like, well, it's tailgating. And then you look up in the stands now, and I don't see a lot of empty seats. And
well, it is a sellout.
They're going to come eventually. This is homecoming. This is what
For the record, they're
here.
still filing in right now.
Definitely.
They're getting ready for halftime. Both bands will perform.
And the A&T, the product on the field, giving the fans something to cheer about.
A low line drive punt will roll out at the 39-yard line of the Aggies. So nice field position for the Aggies to run their 2-minute offense with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half. And this, Damian, has been the best type of offense that the Aggies have run all season, this 2-minute style.
And what better way than to try to get some points on the board late in the half? You got a short field, not a short field, but very favorable field position. You got a quarterback that's mobile, that's been playing really well the last couple weeks. The crowd's in it. You got a lot of momentum on the field. Take care of your business. Get more points before you go into the halftime break. If you're A&T for South Carolina, you're hanging on for dear life. You need to come up with a stop.
1st and 10 for the Aggies. Smith through the middle. Will hold on to the football and gain about 3. And that will bring us to the 2-minute timeout. North Carolina A&T 6, South Carolina State nothing. We're back after these messages on Flow College. Probably going to be a crazy party, the 100th GHOE.
And every year is a party here in Greensboro for, I wouldn't say a party, it's like a family reunion type thing for an HBCU homecoming, but for A&T, they've turned it into something even more spectacular. And, you know, again, it all comes down to a family atmosphere when you go to a school like North Carolina A&T.
That pass to Kennedy, complete at the 45, so Kevin White will have 3rd and 4 to work with.
A big 3rd down here for A&T. And also for South Carolina State, they want to try to get the ball back and not using the timeout here, seeing if A&T is going to throw it and stop the clock on the incompletion.
White under pressure, able to scramble, turns the corner and has the 1st down. Wow!
And they marked him out short.
Oh, wow.
First.
I don't know about that spot.
Yeah, White tried to tiptoe on the sideline. Looked like he had it. See here on the replay, gets away from the initial rush, uses that athleticism to bounce it outside and see if we can get
that could have been a horse collar tackle.
And he's going to be short, and the Aggies are going to punt it away.
From our vantage point, it looked like he had it. He sold it.
Did sell it. Looked like he had it, but they're going to punt it away.
And the unfortunate part is he went out of bounds, and that stopped the clock. Are going to have a stoppage on the field.
They're going to review this to see if he stepped out.
It appears that Terry Jones' microphone is not working, but it sounds like that is the case. There's going to be a review.
This is a huge call. This is
massive call.
Either Aggies' drive is going to still be alive, going, trying to score points before the break, or you're going to punt it away to South Carolina State. Now, either way, A&T has timeouts. And you can stop the clock and try to get the ball back one last time before halftime.
As well as your North Carolina A&T Blue and Gold Marching Machine.
Well, partner, this
Also
has been arguably one of the better halves of football we've seen from A&T's defense. As we get another look.
Better angle here. It's that left foot that they're thinking stepped out before he lunged forward to get the first
close,
down.
Man. That is close. Let's get a listen in.
And that was quick. We'll see what the call is.
So the call will remain. That is a tough break for A&T as Kevin White tried to make something out of nothing. Gave you about 7/8 a cup of lemonade.
Sometimes that's when white cleats are not optimal. But again, Aggies punted away. If you're at South Carolina State, do you just take it into the halftime break? You get the ball back to start the second half, or do you try to put a drive together? And if you don't, you stop that clock, you get the ball back. And
South Carolina State move. That'll give A&T a first down.
And
a critical error.
And as I'm talking, the Bulldogs commit a costly penalty, and that's going to be a first down. It was 4th and about 3. It's going to be first down.
So the hard count worked. Those are the discipline plays from A&T, though, to not bite on the hard count when you're calling it out. that can win you football games. Special teams are special.
And if you're they are special. And if you're South Carolina State, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to block that punt? Because if you're not trying to block the punt,
why are you jumping?
Why are you jumping? And that's something that I'm sure both coaching staffs will address at the halftime break, all of these penalties.
The Aggies still alive. The toss out to Smith, and he will reach forward to the 42.
White's pass is complete.
The Aggies have all their timeouts, so not in any hurry. Pocket full of TOs.
As you mentioned, all 3 timeouts in the back pocket. White flushed, tripped over his own offensive lineman, Corian Sharp, the preseason All-CAA selection. And now a flag comes out, and it's going to be holding.
More penalties.
Holding. Offense. Number 51. 10-yard penalty. Still first down. Second down.
Again, you shoot yourself in the foot with penalties. Offensively, you're gifted that first down with the penalty, and now you take 10 yards away, and that puts you back on the opposite side of the 50. And you're still in pretty good shape here. If you're A&T, you don't have to pick up all 13, 14 yards here on one play. You pick up 6 or 7 and make it third and manageable.
White tucks it, runs it. He's got plenty of green grass ahead of him. A flag comes out as he is wrestled down to the ground.
And the flag came from the secondary. That's usually a hold in the secondary on passing. That's
someone probably held the block a little too long.
Let's see what the call is.
A&T signaling like it's going to be against
Holding.
South Carolina State.
Defense, number 10.
Wow.
That 10-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. It'll be first down, North Carolina A&T.
To the end of the run.
Things are becoming interesting here on this drive, to say the least. And White, again, I always say it, if you have a mobile quarterback, that's another headache for an opposing defense. And White, mobile enough to create positive yards with his legs, and not only picking up a big first down, but that penalty yardage added on.
10 penalties for 80 yards.
I told you,
South Carolina
approaching
State.
a hundo in the first half.
Ugly. Whistle on the field.
Yep. Where did we start at?
There's some miscommunication between the officiating crew, hence the stoppage in play. And I think we're good now. So 22 seconds remaining. Terry Jones looks like he wants to make an announcement. He's going
Please
to.
reset the game clock to 27 seconds.
The game clock will be reset to 27 seconds. That was the issue. So that typically doesn't happen at home too often, where the clock operator will run some time for you when you need it most.
You don't normally get shortchanged at home, but
there might be a talking to at the half.
It happens sometimes. Again, Aggies' middle of the field is open with these timeouts, so you don't have to limit.
A&T does have to get moving a little bit, though. White under pressure and is sacked. And A&T is going to have to burn a timeout.
Excellent
First
rush
charge timeout.
off that edge.
Offense.
The Aggies will have one more opportunity to go to the air. Do you take a shot to the end zone, or do you play it conservatively and just let Andrew Brown go for another field goal?
You know, I'm calling a play based on the defense. You know, I'm going to get up to the line, take a look at the defense, and then I'm going to call the play in. If it's a look to where I can take a shot, then yeah. If not, I'm going to get as much as I can to get Andrew Brown in a better position to kick a field goal. But kudos to the defense for South Carolina State stepping up in a major way on that play. Mike Luns, the second, who's had an outstanding first half for South Carolina State, getting that sack, just showing that speed off the edge. We'll see what South Carolina State lines up in defensively. A&T doesn't. The Aggies they don't really rely on the tight ends all that much. You know, something you can still work the middle of the field. You got timeouts if you're A&T.
You have a full playbook here to work with.
Full playbook with your timeouts.
White looks to the air. He's got to make a move quickly, and he'll rush out of bounds with 9 seconds on the game clock. And now you have another decision to make. Do you go for the field goal now, or do you try one more play and then go for the field goal? I think you probably go for one more.
9 seconds left. Anything under 6 seconds, you probably kick the field goal. You got 9 seconds left. You probably have enough time to take a shot at the end zone here.
But you have to work quickly.
You have to work quickly. And if you are tackled, you got to call that timeout immediately.
If you're Sean Gibbs right now, you are attached to the head linesman on your sideline to get that timeout as soon as this play is over.
You're not just attached. I would already tell him, hey, we're calling timeout immediately.
White to the air. Completes the pass to Warren, and he steps out of bounds at the 16, and the field goal unit will head onto the field.
Beautifully executed.
Coming off his 55-yard field goal, will have a chip shot.
Everything that you wanted to happen happened. You got Andrew Brown in a better position for this field goal attempt. Completed the pass. You got out of bounds. And most importantly, you didn't turn the ball over. So excellent execution on the offensive end for the Aggies.
It'll be a 33-yard attempt for Andrew Brown. And it is good. South Carolina State jumped. The flag came in. I think Coach Gibbs will go ahead and decline the penalty. And the Aggies are officially the first team this season to shut the Bulldogs out in the first half.
Offside.
This is a Bulldog squad
Defense.
that has played South
That
Carolina
penalty is
and South
declined.
Florida this
Result
year.
of the play is a successful
so
try.
Aggie defense,
This is the end of the first half.
a phenomenal job here in half number one to shut out this South Carolina State team. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, Damian.
Defensively, and we mentioned it, A&T, they've been scoring points these last couple of weeks, but they've been giving up points as well on the defensive side. So now the defense have figured something out in the week of preparation.
Let's go ahead and send it down to Raven Douglas, standing by with the head coach, Sean Gibbs.
Coach, you guys were able to hold South Carolina State to a scoreless half. What is working for you defensively?
Not allowing any explosive plays, playing pretty sound right now. We got to keep it up. We got 30 minutes to go, so we got to win and repeat our performance for 30 more minutes. But we did a good job right there in the middle eight. We won that, the first part of it, so we got to come out and try to put some points on the board in the second half.
The middle eight is exactly what I was about to ask you about. How impressed were you with that last 4 minutes, and what adjustments are you going to be making in the first 4 minutes of the second?
Well, we just got to go in here and keep our guys playing sound without making a bunch of adjustments right now. It's correct that we did wrong and getting ready to come out and beat our performance.
Got it. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Raven. And he mentioned the middle eight. That's the last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half. A lot of people believe if you win those middle eight, you win the game.
Coach speak at his finest.
I'm glad we could decode it. 9-0. A&T on top of South Carolina State. The other game begins here at the half. We're back after these messages on Flow College. Back with you here in Greensboro. 9-0 North Carolina A&T.
We have 30 more minutes to play, so stay focused, stay together, and stick to the routine. There's been a lot of preparation put in for this week, so they're ready to show a better half. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Raven. 9-0. A&T on top. As I mentioned, to close the half, the first team this season to shut the Bulldogs out after 30 minutes of play. South Carolina State will receive the kickoff here in half number 2. Damian, seems to me like the Aggies defense on a mission.
Excellent defensive performance in the first half by A&T. I thought that South Carolina State would try to establish that run game, and they did. The Bulldogs did try to run the football, but the defensive front for A&T really controlling things up front, making it really difficult for the Bulldogs to really implement their game plan. So they had to improvise, try to throw the football, which they don't want to do. And South Carolina State needs to make that adjustment at halftime. For A&T defensively, keep doing what you've been doing, stopping the run, forcing the Bulldogs to throw the football.
Back deep for the Bulldogs, it's Johnny Jones and Jalen Johnson. Andrew Brown, fresh off his new school record 55-yard field goal, will kick this one away into the wind from south to north. Gusts here this afternoon up to 25 miles per hour, consistent 12-mile-per-hour winds. Here to begin the second half, the feels like temperature 61.
Here at Truist Stadium, Andrew Brown will pick off for North Carolina A&T. Back deep for the Bulldogs, including
And with the offense for South Carolina State not
Jalen Johnson.
running on high octane there in the first half. See the adjustments that Coach Barry and his staff make at the break to try to get the offense going.
Jones will field this at the 10. Tries to go east to west, and that typically doesn't work out too well. He was able to gain a few, and now there's a flag that comes out at the 12-yard line. So that theme continues here this afternoon.
There's a flag on the play.
Feels like we're at the laundromat.
Well, a lot of penalties in that first half. We were saying that both teams penalty prone, more so for South Carolina State. They approached 100 penalties there in that first half.
100 penalty yards.
100 penalty yards.
It felt like 100 penalties.
Well, there was a flag every 10 seconds, seemed like.
17 first half penalties between the two squads.
What my son used to say, is that a lot? I'm not sure. Is that a lot, Dad?
That is a lot.
What you have to do is clean that up on both sides of the sidelines if you're at South Carolina State and North Carolina A&T. A&T, it didn't hurt them as much, able to parlay their drives into 9 points at the break. South Carolina State has to clean up those penalties.
Atkins to start the half at quarterback for South Carolina State. And it is Pickett Hicks who's able to rush ahead for a few as he's approaching about 30 yards for the day on 8 touches.
Second down and 5 for the Bulldogs.
And that's one of the better run plays so far in this ball game for South Carolina State.
2nd and 5. Pickett Hicks has the ball, breaks free, and has the first down at the 20-yard line after busting through a tackle in the backfield.
And you can see the mindset of South Carolina State to start this third quarter, run the football. Excellent penetration by A&T in the backfield, but you don't make the tackle, you don't make the play, and it allows the Bulldogs to pick up the first down.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. On the ground again, Pickett Hicks able to gain a yard. We've spoken all afternoon about this A&T front four. They have been great today.
Not just great. The A&T front four has allowed the back end to concentrate on not having to come up and fill the run as much. I mean, you allow your linebackers to flow when you play really good defensive line play, as A&T has done that so far.
On the stop.
Atkins opens up, tosses towards the sideline, completes the pass to Smith. He gets wrapped up immediately, and it'll bring up 3rd and about 7.5.
Yeah, short pass. Good fundamental tackle on the outside, not allowing any yards after catch, and that's going to be a 3rd and long here for South Carolina State, something they don't want to be in, having to rely on that pass game.
So far today, the Bulldogs 8 of 16 for 74 yards through the air.
And look at the defensive front there. 3 defenders, no one in a 3-point stance.
Atkins dropping back under pressure, throws and tosses it too high for Jalen Johnson, the Holy Cross transfer. And that will bring up fourth down.
And 3rd and long there. You know, Aggies able to get back in that zone defense. They only rushed 3. Pass just sails on Atkinson, and that's a win defensively. Again, I'm starting to sound like a broken record on the defensive side of the football today for North Carolina A&T. Have consistently won, especially on 3rd down.
Janish back deep to punt this away. Beautiful kick. Fielded by Kennedy at the 32. He's got a little bit of room on the sideline. A flag comes out as he is sent out of bounds in Bulldog territory. And everybody pointing at each other saying it's on the other team. Typically, though, on a return, that goes against the return team.
We'll see what this penalty is, but Elijah Kennedy's slippery in the return game.
He's a guy who can bust one for a touchdown.
During the return, holding, number 27 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be first down, North Carolina A&T.
8 penalties for 75 yards for North Carolina A&T this afternoon.
And that negates a really good return for the Aggies with an excellent field position. It was called on number 27, Jonathan Kimbrough Campbell. Couldn't quite see it there on the replay. That being said, still pretty good field position to start off for A&T.
Kevin White, who went 10 for 18 in the first half, is in the gun. Tosses it to Dillard, who holds it in for the first down.
What a grab. I'm not even going to say Javon. I'm going to say he deserves a certain pizzazz for that catch. Javon Dillard with a one-handed grab on the sideline.
A&T got away with a hold there. Luntz was coming right in. He was like a bull that saw red.
Well, sometimes you need a little luck if you want to win ball games, and Aggies lucky not to get the penalty there.
The reverse. Jones tripped up in the backfield by Mike Evans.
And Bulldogs not fooled on that reverse. After a big pickup, you go with the trick play. 5-yard loss there sets you back on this drive. Now 2nd and 15. Don't have to abandon that run game. Wesley Graves, I mentioned, he's good to bust one for 15-20 every now and then.
White opens up, throws, and Warren zigged. White thought he was going to zag, and that one went to the back shoulder on the wrong side.
And that's 3rd and 15. You know, what do I say? There's no 15-yard plays now. There are plays that are big game plays. So if you don't pick up that 15, you get to about the 30-yard line, you're thinking about Andrew Brown, another field goal attempt if you're A&T.
This time would be into the wind.
You think Andrew Brown cares about the win?
No.
No regard for the win.
White under pressure, keeps his balance, throws, and that will go out of bounds. And I think I see another flag.
Yeah, more penalties is
going to go against A&T.
Another holding penalty. Let's see if South Carolina State accepts this, or they're just going to force this 4th down. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Berry, if he wants to back him up.
I think you have to back him up, right? This technically is Andrew Brown territory.
Technically, but
offense, number 13, 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
You can get a hold, automatic 1st down. You can get a pass interference. So
that's the chance you take, right? But, you know, you could have had them kick the field goal here. And with the wind, if it comes up a little short, you could try the return also.
Exactly. You know, if I'm South Carolina State, I make them punt. I'm going to decline that penalty and bring up 4th down. Let's see if it pays off for the Bulldogs.
The delayed draw. And Graves is sent to the ground. And now the Aggies are most definitely out of field goal range, even with Andrew Brown.
And a drive that included a acrobatic catch by Dillard on the sideline is going to end in an A&T punt, but the way that the Aggies defense have been playing so far in this ball game, you don't mind. You want to try to pin the Bulldogs deep here with the punt.
The Aggies trying to figure some things out with numbers. Jalen Johnson back deep to receive this punt, averaging 11.5 yards per return. Page, beautiful kick. Fair catch signaled for and secured at the 15-yard line. So mission accomplished by DJ Page.
You get the offense for South Carolina State backed up inside the 20-yard line. You know, if they're going to drive, they're going to have to drive the length of the field. And defensively, A&T has been on their A game to the tune of 0 points for South Carolina State so far. So Aggies confident defensively that they can get out there and get the job done.
Quarterbacking the Bulldogs, number 1.
So Atkins back out on the field. He has yet to relinquish the quarterback duties back to Stubblefield. The handoff goes to Pickett Hicks.
You know, regardless of shoving, pardon me, partner, but regardless of who's playing quarterback, South Carolina State has to run the football. They come into this one averaging over 200 yards rushing as a team per game. If I'm not mistaken, over 200 yards in the first 3 games of the season. It's back down a little bit, but still 142 yards per game. You got to run the football. They ran for about 30 yards in the first half.
That throw over the middle, almost intercepted by A&T. Cam Maddox almost came away with that one. The Bulldogs don't tend to throw the ball away too often. Only 2 interceptions so far this season, one of which occurred today.
Well, Aggies playing shell zone defense, not allowing South Carolina State to really get into a groove offensively. And when you don't have to blitz, if you rely on pressure from your front 4, you know, you can drop back into that zone and let your defenders do their job.
3rd and 8. Atkins launches towards the sideline, completes the pass for the first down and more. As Johnson gets corralled on the outside by Tyler Howard, the freshman out of Tallahassee, Florida.
Yeah, too much room on the outside there by Tyler Howard. You know, Johnson just runs to the sticks and picks up the first down. That's a big 3rd down pickup for South Carolina State.
That's exactly how you teach it right there. Find the stick, plant yourself, bring in the ball.
Yeah, now, I understand, Howard, you don't want to get beat deep, but you got to understand where the sticks are and what the yardage on that particular down is.
The option, Atkins tucks it, runs it, he's got a block, and is tripped up at the 45.
Atkins doing his part to try to get the run game going for South Carolina State, and that's what happens as a quarterback if you don't slide. You know, if Atkins slides there, you know, the play's over, you probably get about 4 or 5 yards. You stay on your feet, and you get as much as you can. Big gain there for the Bulldogs.
First and 10 from the 46-yard line of the Bulldogs. Pickett Hicks able to escape the first tackle, reaches for midfield, and is granted the spot.
Pickett Hicks, strong running there. Cameron Dalrymple, first defender there, former running back, now a safety. He slowed the runner up just enough to allow his teammates to come make the play.
Transfer from the Naval Academy, had a health condition that disqualified him from football at Navy, ended up getting himself right, transferred here to A&T, and has been a tremendous part of this program since. Play action. That one dropped by Ellison. Hit him right in the breadbasket.
Yeah, Ellison had a catch in the first half, and you know, that would have been short of a first down, but it would have been 3rd and very short, 3rd and 1. Now 3rd and about 6 for South Carolina State. Another big third down here in the third quarter for the Bulldogs.
Crowd coming alive here at Truist Stadium. 3rd and 6 from midfield. Atkins drops back, has time, throws towards the wing. That one hauled in, and it's good for the first down and more. Tyler Smith.
Atkins' pass is complete.
And that pass was out of necessity for Atkinson. And, you know, defender Tyler Howard was over there. I don't think that he thought that Atkinson was going to throw that pass. Another big gain on 3rd down for the Bulldogs. Lucky for A&T that it wasn't a touchdown as Tyler Smith stepped out of bounds.
Stepped out of bounds at the Aggie 43. First down and 10, Bulldogs.
1st and 10 for the Dogs. Play action over the middle. That one is complete to Ellison, and he high steps into the end zone to erase the goose egg. 9-6. The Bulldogs strike first here in half number 2.
The RPO, and this is something that a lot of teams have gotten away from. The tight end RPO, that seam is going to be open. Wide open is the tight end, not accounted for. And Cyrus Ellison makes up for the drop on a couple of plays ago with a big touchdown reception. That's the drive that South Carolina State needed, having shown no signs of life so far in this ball game.
Nico Cavanellis Alti on, and he punches through the extra point to make this a 2-point ball game. We'll take a timeout here in Greensboro. We're back after this. Intercollegiate athletics are on the rise in North Carolina A&T, and you can play an important part in helping our student athletes achieve their best potential. The Aggies All Aggie All In campaign aims to bring together regular Aggies from across the spectrum to raise critical additional scholarship dollars and funds to address other priority needs that shape the student athlete experience. Whether you can give $5 or $500, there's a place for you in the All Aggies All In campaign. So get in where you fit in. We invite you to take out your cell phone and text GIVE to AAF to 71777. That's GIVE to AAF to 71777 on your cell phone messaging app now. Elijah Kennedy and Aaron Harris back deep to receive the kickoff. This one will head into the end zone and will be down for a touchback.
For South Carolina State, that last drive so important. And they got it going with the run game. And from the quarterback position, that 3rd and long run from Atkinson, that started things off. And you leave the big tight end open over the middle, you're not accounting for him. I just mentioned that tight ends are not a big part of the spread offense these last couple of seasons, and they're hard to account for. If you got a mismatch in the tight end position, you need to utilize it. And Ellison was wide open over the middle for South Carolina State.
For the first touchdown of the game, it capped off an 8-play, 86-yard drive in 3 minutes and change. A&T running a 2 tight end set. The handoff. That ball popped out late, but had already been blown dead as Smith was the rusher.
And now the object for A&T. Can you answer? South Carolina State has shown a proof of life after that touchdown. Can you answer? You've been playing with all the emotion in the stadium so far. Now South Carolina State has punched you in the mouth. How do you respond if you're A&T?
Brings up 2nd and 6 as we approach the 6-minute mark of quarter number 3. South Carolina State's defense allowing no room for this A&T rushing offense. So far, the Aggies just about 64 yards on the ground today.
Now, I understand the Aggies wanted to come out in this drive and establish the run, and Coach Gibbs wants to run the football, and that makes life a lot easier for Kevin White. Bulldogs are going to force A&T to throw the football to have success. Sometimes you got to throw it to open up the run.
The one thing A&T has done really well today is build extended drives, so far leading in the time of possession battle. The Bulldogs on the season second in the country in time of possession, as that one got blown up in the backfield by Josh Barker.
And that defensive front for South Carolina State, nice and lathered up. As a trio of Bulldogs around, and White had no chance as soon as he got that snap. Bulldogs in the backfield.
Page on to punt this one away. Johnson to receive, standing at his own 40. Page almost blocked, gives it a ride. That one secured at the 44.
Fair catch from Johnson. Just crossed the midfield.
South Carolina State score a touchdown. You come out defensively, you get a stop.
And we'll take a timeout. We're back after this on Flow College.
I never lose, I always win, or I learn. That's a famous quote by Nelson Mandela that's used kind of throughout the athletic community. Well, from the last two matchups, Coach Gibbs has taken a lesson of the power of belief. He talked about it in the last press conference, saying that when everybody stepped out to believe, they made plays that were crucial to get back in the game, and they played with a lot of effort and intensity. He also said that on the flip side of that, non-belief is just as powerful. He said it's important to have everybody on the same page in order to get a win. Football is a game of peaks and valleys, so you have to believe through the good and bad. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Raven. 9-7. North Carolina A&T leading it, as the Bulldogs offense will trot back out onto the field.
And defensively, so far in this ball game, A&T, prior to that last South Carolina State possession, had controlled the line of scrimmage, but the Bulldogs won the battle in the trenches on that last possession. See what adjustments the defense has made, or South Carolina State now squarely in this ball game, how their confidence level rises.
Bobbled snap by Atkins, and he is dropped by Maddox in the backfield. A&T has won 7 of the last 8 in this series. You think about all the history between these two schools. This series dates back to 1928. Legendary coaches on both sides. Rod Broadway for A&T, Buddy Pugh, and Willie Jeffries for South Carolina State. On the basketball side, Cy Alexander won MEAC championships for both schools. A ton of history.
And that's how it is throughout HBCU athletics.
The long pass, a little too long. And that will fall incomplete.
Aaron Harris.
There's a flag on the field. Sorry about that, Damien. There's a flag on the field at the 42.
And we'll see what that flag is. Harris running stride for stride. Not sure if officials thought he got a little handsy.
Looks like it's going to go.
There's no foul on the play for defensive pass interference. Third down.
Running stride for stride. His hands, both players were swatting away at each other. That's how football is played these days. So,
back.
I mean, sometimes defensive backs, it's a tough job. You know, you really can't touch the wide receiver too much, or you'll get a penalty. Sometimes the officials will let you play. Big third down here for the defense for A&T, trying to get the ball back to the O.
Atkins throws down the sideline, and it's too strong for Johnson. Atkins got planted, no flag, and the Aggies defense with a critical third down stop.
The Bulldogs going deep again. You see, could have been a holding penalty there on the defense, but Atkins going deep for Johnson, can't connect. Excellent pressure by Mitchell Etheridge III for North Carolina A&T off the edge.
Spiraling line drive, fielded by Kennedy. And the Jet Boosters didn't start up on that one. He got tripped up at the 15.
Their shoestring tackle there as a whiff of the fried fish comes.
You know what? I'm ordering up a plate right now. A plate for each of us and our producer Aaron up here. I want some Texas Pete.
Show you right. This is
piece of
Greensboro.
toast.
Listen, this is all I really need. I need some fried fish, preferably catfish. Need some baked beans, some potato salad.
Are you an egg in the potato salad guy or no egg?
I mean, either or. I prefer egg. It don't matter, either or. I mean, this is the South, brother. This is the South. We're gonna put
I'm
those
a potato
boiled,
salad purist.
We'll eat those boiled eggs are gonna be in the potato salad.
Another flag flies out. As far as I'm concerned, you including egg in your potato salad is worth a flag.
No, sir. You'd ask any red-blooded American, do you want eggs in your potato salad?
Holding.
They're going to tell you
Offense.
yes, please.
Number 65.
I'll remind you that
Half the distance to the goal. Replay.
on the
First
inside.
down.
Well, you know, so this is what happens when you put egg. It's not just the egg white in the potato salad. It's the yolk. It creates
man.
more of a creamy texture.
The mayo
Trust
is
me.
enough egg. The
Trust-
mayo is enough egg.
Trust me, the grannies from generations, it's tried and true, man. It's tried and true. It's not up for debate.
Over the middle, Jones. And White can't hit him on the extended arm.
And Jones had a step. You don't pick up a first down, though, but you catch Jones in stride, and he can do some things with it, and you're going to need it after that penalty. That would have set up third and manageable now. Do you keep it on the ground and just punt it away? Or do you try to pick up this first, throwing the ball in the air, knowing that these defensive linemen are going to pin their ears back on third and long?
Drops back. White tosses it over the middle. Big time grab by Michael Carlock-Williams, who's wearing the number 12 today. And it's just a bit shy of that first down marker. It will bring up 3rd and 1.
And that's a big-time throw there to make it 3rd and where you can run the football if you so choose to try to pick up this first.
So Carlock-Williams switching numbers mid-year from 84 to 12. RPO, the pitch, and that is sniffed out and stopped.
And that's a big stop defensively for A&T, and I understand the play call. You hadn't been getting much push up front, running north-south, so you try to run east-west. But the speed of the Bulldogs defensively strung that one out. And that's actually a loss of 3 yards. It's going to be 4th and punting situation here for A&T.
And the Aggies are starting to flirt with trouble here, potentially. South Carolina State is winning the field position battle.
And eventually, you know, that will come back and bite you, as now they get the ball on the positive side of the 50.
You can't give a team like South Carolina State too many cracks at it. This is a squad that made the Celebration Bowl last year, fell to Jackson State in that ball game. 19 MEAC championships.
Not too bad. And South Carolina State, a proud program, and you know, Coach Barry, like, he has reloaded a lot of talent in South Carolina, in the state. You don't have to really go outside the state to recruit. So you're going to have athletes. Can you put it together when you get on the field?
That throw over the middle, incomplete.
Good coverage there.
And another flag. I'm just going to record that into my iPhone, and I'm going to just press a button and let Siri keep telling me there's another flag.
Or just let DJ
Ineligible downfield player, number 70 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And I didn't even think that play was that long. It didn't take that long to develop.
It didn't. It was basically an RPO, quick slant.
And 15 for the Bulldogs.
With good coverage in the secondary, regardless of the penalty, by Tyler Howard.
It'll bring up 1st and 15. Play action. Atkins able to complete the pass to Smith. He gets dropped immediately by Ty Williams Jr.
Smith, stop made by number 30.
And Ty Williams Jr. not allowing a lot of yards after the catch on that particular pass play. And for A&T, again, defensively, you played well in this ball game. Sans the touchdown drive for South Carolina State. You're needed here defensively if you're A&T.
Atkins, all the time in the world, over the middle and just past the outstretched arms of Jalen Johnson.
And bullets are dodged sometimes if you're in the matrix. And I know that ball was in the air, seemed like forever if you are on both sides of this sideline and just a bit too far. Like they say football is a game of inches. That was inches. That's what they mean by football being a game of inches. And Tyler Howard, I just praised him on the previous play and almost gave up a touchdown there for A&T. But close is not good enough.
3rd and 11.
South Carolina State.
So far today, the Bulldogs 4 of 10 on 3rd down. A&T bringing pressure. Atkins over the middle, able to hit his receiver, Johnny Jones. He's brought down before that 4th down marker. And a 4 is in the box. And the punt unit will come on for the Bulldogs.
And Ty Williams Jr. making these sure tackles out of the secondary. You know, you are anticipating breaking one tackle and picking up the 1st down on the yards after catch with Ty Williams Jr. Short tackle in the secondary forces a punt, but keep your eye on the football if you're A&T and look out for the fake.
We've already seen Janish lay one down at the 5. The motion man for South Carolina State was Mayrant. And this one will roll into the end zone to the Aggies' benefit. So this will be better field position than was projected for A&T to start this drive.
So Aggies a couple of inches away from giving up a touchdown that would have put them behind to forcing the punt to getting really pretty good field position on the touchback.
But those are the breaks that you need to win games sometimes.
You need the breaks. You definitely need the breaks to win these type of football games.
13 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3. A&T will take the field on offense. 187 yards on the day. 131 of them through the air. Not typical of a Sean Gibbs offense to be pass heavy, but here we are.
But for North Carolina A&T, you have not been able to run the football effectively since that first quarter. And here you see him trying to start the drive off again, running the football. You don't have to get 20, 30 yards, but you know, you get 3, you get 4, you get 5.
Oh, if you keep pressing the button, maybe.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
We head to the 4th quarter. A&T leads by 2. We're back after this on Flow College. Intercollegiate athletics are on the rise at North Carolina A&T, and you can play an important part in helping our student athletes achieve their best potential. The All Aggies All In Capital Campaign aims to bring together regular Aggies from across the spectrum to raise critical additional scholarship dollars and funds to address other priority needs that shape the student athlete experience. Whether you can give $5 or $500, there is a place in the All Aggies All In campaign for you. So get in where you fit in. We invite you. to take out your cell phones and text GIVE to AAF to 71777.
Trying to hook up Michael Carlock Williams. Contact late. No flag. The Aggies took a shot on 2nd and 4. Now, a very important third down here for A&T. If you're the Aggies here, you want to get a touchdown. You've had 3 Andrew Brown field goals. You need to get a touchdown to get this to a 2-possession ball game. Starts here on 3rd down.
White opens up, throws, and completes the pass to Warren. Bobbled it, held on, and that will keep the drive alive.
Jamison Warren, sure hands, you mentioned, bobbles it, and usually when the defender comes in, that contact will jar it loose, but Warren, strong hands, picks up the 1st down. A&T is trying to find that mojo that they had in the first half. Quick 3rd quarter for both teams.
Kennedy, the motion man, the handoff to Graves, breaks 2 tackles, and earned every bit of that 3 yards.
Best 3-yard run of Wesley Graves' career there to avoid negative yardage, get as much as he can on that play.
Coming off his first multi-rushing touchdown game of his career at William & Mary, 25 carries, 93 yards.
And we thought that Graves surely has had that in the past, but been a couple of good running backs ahead of him in his younger years.
White, and he almost had that one intercepted. That you can't do. You can't give the football away right now.
And that was miscommunication with his wide receiver there. White gets away with one, but you said you got to have things like that happen to win ball games. And although A&T has not been perfect, some of the breaks have been going their way.
And that was Jared Washington right there. He's already got 3 interceptions on the campaign.
Big 3rd down here.
3rd and 7. White under pressure. Big hit. Ball is loose. Luntz trying to grab it. Instead, it's picked up by a fellow defender.
Recovered by the Bulldogs.
A jailbreak on the defensive line. And on 3rd down, that's what South Carolina State has been doing.
Jordan Dollard.
They've been blitzing on 3rd down, especially if it's 3rd and obvious passing situations. And the Bulldogs were coming and forcing that turnover. Now that's going to be
1st down and goal to go.
1st and goal for South Carolina State, and all the pressure now on the defense for A&T.
Well, we've seen A&T come up with big-time turnovers when they need them most. But we've also seen this Aggies team blow 4th quarter leads this season.
Mentioned in a couple of games this season, they've had the lead in the 4th quarter. Just hadn't been able to finish the ball game, and that was one of the keys to the game today. And regardless, you're thinking force a field goal attempt, and you'll still, South Carolina State is able to kick a field goal, you'll still be trailing by 1. But you can't give up a touchdown here if you're the defense for A&T.
The handoff to Smith as he is bottled up shy of the goal line.
Smith bouncing off of Aggie defenders.
Inside the 5-yard line.
And you got to be shocked if you're A&T. You played so well there in the first half, 3rd quarter. Started to see South Carolina State get their bearings about themselves. Aggies leaving that door open, and South Carolina State walking right in.
Second and goal. Atkins takes it himself, has a couple of lead blockers, and he is stopped at the 1.
Short of the goal line.
Atkins trying to use that big frame of his to lean, get into the end zone.
Is this 4 down territory?
I would think so. Now, you could kick a field goal and go up by 1, but if you're on the 1-yard line, if you don't get it, you put A&T in a precarious situation. They'll have it, on the 1-yard line if you don't get it on 4th down. But this is a huge 3rd down here for South Carolina State. Out of all the penalties that have gone against them, everything that has gone wrong so far, you can take the lead here on this 3rd down.
Josh Shaw is checked in at the single back, and he barrels his way into the end zone. Touchdown, South Carolina State. The Bulldogs are on top for the first time today.
And how about that? When South Carolina State needed it, went to the run game, and we got an
injured defensive player.
Defender on the field.
We have an injured Aggie down on the field.
And hopefully that young man's okay.
We'll take a timeout. We're back after this. Tim Alderman was the injured Aggie on the field. He is up and walking back to the sideline under his own power.
That's a great sight to see.
That was a big
Tim Alderman
hit.
I heard the collision. We heard the collision up here. We have the window open up in the booth. Big collision on the goal line. That South Carolina State touchdown, and the Bulldogs are going to go for 2 here.
So Atkins will go spread offense. No back set after Jones motions out.
I look for the quarterback run here on A&T.
Atkins goes to throw and completes it in the end zone for 2 to Cyrus Ellison.
Ellison, the long touchdown reception, gets the 2-point conversion. Hard to get your motor going again. Defensively, when you see one of your guys go down in South Carolina State, you look up at the scoreboard, and the Bulldogs, they're here.
Makes it a 6-point ball game here in Greensboro. The Aggies have not won a homecoming game since 2022 against Campbell.
I believe that was the Bayshore Tootin' coming out party to the country.
Current Jacksonville Jaguars running back, Bashal Tootin'.
And it all started here in Greensboro.
So that was a 3-play, 9-yard drive and a $138, and that's where those turnovers kill you. Kevin White still learning, but
not a lot he can do that where you can secure the football, but that rush is in his on 3rd downs.
You got to make sure you hold on to that.
You definitely have to secure the football. South Carolina State has done a great job on 3rd and obvious passing situations, getting in the backfield immediately.
This kick will be fielded by Aaron Harris. And he is out past the 20, where he is taken down from behind by David Wilson. And there is a flag on the play. The 23rd penalty today. Still plenty of time in this ball game.
And how football is played, I mean, a penalty can be thrown on every play if officials chose to do so. But it's a lot of penalties here on both sides of the football. So it's not a bias thing. It's that you have to start playing, and you have to be cognizant of, like, hey, I got to tighten this up. They're going to call a penalty.
During the return, personal foul. Hands to the face. Number 38 of the kicking team. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run.
A&T catches a break. Carl Lewson gets called for illegal hands to the face, so he was probably trying to make a swim move and instead hit a guy in the helmet. Or at least that's what I'll say by giving him the benefit of the doubt. It might have been something else.
Yeah, I doubt that he was making a swim move, but nice try, partner.
Thank you.
But
I mean, I don't want to sit here and say, oh, he smacked the guy in the face. I mean,
he's probably what happened. If you're A&T here, I make a challenge to my offensive lineman. Block somebody.
The ball comes loose again. It's fumbled and picked up by by South Carolina State.
And Kevin White having words. Second straight fumble from White. And it looked like an RPO read there.
He tried pulling it out, and I think JT
Let's see
Smith
here on the replay.
held it a little too long.
Yeah, Smith holding it. Ball on the ground. Immediately. Another turnover. And it's gone horribly wrong the last couple of possessions for North Carolina A&T.
Something about the fourth quarter in this A&T football team.
Well, this iteration of this Aggie football team, they've had some triumphs in the fourth quarter. Their win versus Hampton here was a fourth quarter to remember, but leads against Tennessee State and also last week at William & Mary.
And Maine.
And couldn't hold those leads.
Maine tried coming back in that one. Had a chance, ran out of time.
Now, opportunity here for South Carolina State to make it a two-score ball game. You know, even if you don't get the touchdown, you get yourself in field goal range. You'll make it a two-score game for the Aggies.
Atkins will go to work with Smith to his right. It'll be the option. Atkins keeps it himself and has a first down.
Atkins just strung that one out, read it, and forced the defender to commit to the running back and scoops it up for a first down.
Atkins, since entering the game, 8 for 17 through the air for 78 yards. 5 carries for just about 30 yards.
Defense is needed in the worst way for A&T. Is South Carolina State, you understand here, they have all the momentum.
Atkins slings it to the outside as Ellison is shoved out of bounds.
Ellison.
Number 14, Cyrus Ellison, who's met by number 21, Trey Mittman.
Having words with Mittman.
Loss on the play, brings up. Actually, no gain on the play, brings up second down and 10.
But defensively for A&T, someone needs to make a play. The defense for South Carolina State understood, like, hey, our offense needs us to keep us in this ball game until they can score some points. Now, for defense for A&T, someone has to make a play here on the defensive side of the football.
Atkins heaves it to the end zone, and that one will go out through the back. Incomplete, as Ellison was the intended target again.
Yeah, Ellison is a mismatch in that secondary. Really good size for the Bulldogs. So why not throw it deep? But on third down here, you know, you're thinking, is this 4-down territory? If you don't pick up the entire first down, you pick up 7-8 yards, or do you kick the field goal to try to make it a two-score ball game?
I think you go for the field goal. But that's just me. You and I are up here. We are not paid to be coaches. And we did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Well, you know how some of these coaches are, man. Unless you have ultimate trust in your field goal kicker, they're going for it.
3rd and 10. Atkins finds Pater! Jordan Smith! Touchdown Bulldogs!
And over the middle again. The middle of that field is open, especially if you don't get pressure on the quarterback. Atkinson, 1, 2, let it go. Receiver wide open over the middle. South Carolina State showing you why they're the kings of the MEAC.
21-9.
And 21 unanswered points and counting for South Carolina State.
On to the PAT.
PAT is good.
It's good.
Make it 22 unanswered points now for the Bulldogs here in half number 2.
And for A&T, the momentum on that first half, defense playing really well, offense putting themselves in position to put points on the board. and having that lead at the halftime break. South Carolina State, kudos to the Bulldogs. They went in, they made their adjustments, understanding what they needed to do to be successful here in this second half. And they implemented that, scored 22 unanswered points.
Well, if you're North Carolina A&T, what can you do to try and snap this 3-game losing streak?
Well, you got 9:27 left. You got plenty of time, so you don't panic. I mean, you can't take forever. But, again, they've had a lot of success, they being A&T, in that 2-minute drill. I get in the 2-minute drill here on this possession, see if I can move the ball, pick up a couple of first downs, keep the defense off balance for South Carolina State. White hadn't had a ton of time to throw, especially here in the second half. So when you get in that shotgun, you give yourself an opportunity to throw the football.
Kennedy bobbles it. Comes towards the near side. He's got some room. He's at the 40 and is unable to beat Cavanilis Alti, and he's able to bring it to midfield.
Timeout.
So the Aggies will have great field position, though there is an injured Bulldog down at the 27.
The big return there from Elijah Kennedy. Almost lost the football, bobbled it, but you see the speed there to get to the outside. Set North Carolina A&T up with excellent field position to begin the drive.
It appears to be Antoine McCray down on the field for the Bulldogs.
We're going to hope that Antoine McCray is all right.
We're going to take a timeout. When we return, we'll check in on the field. We're back after this on Flow College.
We saw graduate defensive end Tim Alderman have to be helped off the field. He was walking a little bit slow. He went straight to this tent on the sideline, has been evaluated, and he will not be returning to the game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Raven, for that update. Damian, second half adjustments for South Carolina State, obviously working well. 22 unanswered points. For A&T, the second half continues to be an issue.
For South Carolina State, I think the adjustment was made on the offensive side of the football. Defensively, the Bulldogs defense played pretty well in that first half, limited A&T to 3 field goals, kept them in the ball game. Offensively in the second half, they've just utilized the run game a lot more, especially from the quarterback position, utilizing the legs of Atkinson to pick up first downs.
1st and 10 for the Aggies from Bulldog territory. Here's Graves, and he's tripped up at the 44.
Again, you don't have to abandon the run. Your A&T Graves, nice pickup on first down. Securing the football is the number one priority on this possession. You get a touchdown, you're right.
Graves gets the call again. And he's taken down at the 42.
And that offensive line for A&T having fits with the defensive front for South Carolina State sets up a big third down here.
It'll bring up 3rd and 3. White throws, completes it to Kennedy, and he is chucked down at the 32 to move the sticks.
First down needed there from Kevin White to Elijah Kennedy. That keeps the drive going. Again, these are the type of situations where you can look to Kevin White to step up in a major way.
White to the sideline, and a pass interference is called as Mike Evans was dressed all over Elijah Kennedy.
Michael Evans Thought he made a great play on the ball, but flag comes flying in. That's going to be an auto first down for North Carolina A&T. And you look up, yes, 7:34 left, and yes, A&T is down 22-9, but the Aggies are driving. You get into this end zone, and it's a ball game.
14 penalties.
First down and 10 for the Aggies.
For South Carolina State today.
That's a ton of penalties, and still able to rattle off 22 consecutive points. That's impressive.
The Bulldogs average 7.5 penalties a game. Here's Graves. Breaks.
Lowering those pads, getting as much as he can.
He's a bowling ball. I mean, let's just face it. When that is coming at you, you're a pin that's about to get knocked to the ground.
Well, you're hoping that you can get lower than Graves, and you hope that he doesn't knee you in the helmet as you get low.
Yeah, good luck. Smith back in for
does run hard.
Smith back in for the first time since the miscommunication in the backfield. Takes it. Has the edge. Smith puts on a move and is able to earn the first down. And now another flag comes in.
And penalty comes in late down the field after Smith had already picked up the first down. Let's see what the flag is all about. You see nice double team on the outside. Allows Smith to get down that left sideline. Let's see what the penalty is. And Aggies are pointing towards South Carolina State.
Foul. Illegal blindside block. Number 11 of the defense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal.
Still hurting South Carolina State. That allows A&T to have a first and goal situation here. The Aggies not out of it.
It'll be first and goal from the 6. The handoff to Smith. Luntz able to drag him down. It'll be a loss of a few.
Now the defensive front for South Carolina State rising up once again. If you're A&T, you may not be able to run this football in. You're probably going to have to get Kevin White out on the edge, roll him to the wide side of the field, let him either find someone down the field in the end zone or use his legs to make a play.
Second and goal from the 12 now as the Aggies find themselves in a non-ideal situation. Carlock Williams can't bring that one in on the screen.
Is incomplete. Intended for number 12, Michael Carlock.
And had that pass been completed, I don't think that Williams would have gotten much.
It might have been better for him to drop it, honestly.
It'll be third down and goal to go.
And for A&T, this is definitely 4-down territory.
Last week there was an opportunity with goal to go. A&T was unable to punch it in. The Aggies, we'll see if they learn something from that. Here's White. Plenty of time. Rolls out, throws on the run, and Dillard can't bring it in as Quantre Harry on the coverage.
And I know that the play probably wasn't designed to go to J.T. White. If Kevin White looks to his left, J.T. White is standing all by his lonesome and could have crawled into the end zone here. You see White coming out of the backfield. No one around him. Now, granted, Kevin White running for his life. Now it's going to be
fourth and goal.
Fourth and goal for the Aggies.
And this is do or die time. White looking, throws, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Jordan Franklin comes away with it, and the Bulldogs celebrating like they've spoiled homecoming.
White that time had some time, but I think that was by design for South Carolina State. Dropping back,
the result of the play was an interception,
covering that
in the end zone.
White fires it.
It'll be first down,
That
South
would have
Carolina
been
State.
an incredible pass and catch. Had that been completed, there was 3 Bulldog defenders around, and to boot, your wideout pays for it with a shot. There could have been a penalty there on South Carolina State, but now you see why the Bulldogs have been so good defensively these last several years.
Official timeout. Official timeout.
There's a timeout on the field. I believe it was called by North Carolina A&T. Well, that first and goal play.
Game clock operator. Please reset the game clock to 5. Okay, we're fine.
Yeah, first and goal, you lose a couple yards, and then you don't get it on fourth and goal. A&T now really behind the 8 ball. We'll step aside. Aggies trailing South Carolina State 22-9 here in the fourth quarter.
We're going to keep it here. So Atkins back in the gun. It's Smith on the carry. Check that. Pickett Hicks. And now that this one is a 2-score game, under 5.5 minutes, it seems like both bands are going to try and see who can play louder.
Well, for A&T, you got timeouts. If you can get a stop and get the ball back, that's your hope. Stop, get the ball back, score quickly. Onside, similar to what happened versus Ham. South Carolina State for stepping up defensively.
2nd and 3. Snap was bobbled. Atkins jumps on top of it. And that's the last thing you need if you're South Carolina State, is to give the football away within striking distance.
Yeah, turnover there would have really given A&T more life. Even if you don't get this first down, you punt it away, you force A&T to drive to get points. And
can the bands, we need the bands to stop playing while the teams are on offense.
What started off,
we need the bands to stop playing while the teams are on offense.
Second half, South Carolina State turned it around.
You'll have to stop playing.
Terry Jones has now told both bands to stop playing.
Aggies band would not be silenced until they were finished.
Oh, when you're the number 1 band in the land, I guess you kind of make the rules. Atkins goes deep down the sideline. That one knocked away by Aaron Harris. It'll fall incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down. So the Aggies able to push a quick 3 and out.
And that gives A&T still they have a chance. 4:22 left. You do force the 3 and out. Opportunity to get the ball back, but you got to score, and you got to score quickly, preferably before that 2-minute timeout. Because that will give you another timeout if you're A&T. If you can score before that 2-minute timeout, you can possibly kick it off and rely on your defense to go 3 and out, or you go for the onside.
Aggies bringing pressure. Kennedy still on his feet and now dropped at the 45.
Elijah Kennedy on the return.
Oh.
No gain.
We'll see if Kevin White has some late game heroics in him. We've seen Noah Sanders do it against Hampton for A&T's lone win of the season.
Well, again, it's homecoming. Magical things happen on homecoming.
No question.
So this could possibly be one of those afternoons, but Aggies definitely have work to do.
White over the middle, almost intercepted. That was a dangerous, dangerous call there. As Roger Kelly was on the coverage, the Arkansas State transfer.
Crossing routes for A&T, a lot of congestion in the middle. And that's just behind. Dropped that interception, but gives A&T another chance here.
White on 2nd down, breaks free, has some room, throws on the run. It is caught.
What a play by Kevin White, and what a grab on the sideline.
Thomas Brown able to haul that one in.
For injured defensive player.
And there's an injured Bulldog on the far sideline. That will stop the clock.
And Thomas Brown not only got one foot in, he got both feet in on that grab. Excellent catch by Brown, but the play was made by Kevin White, getting away from the pressure, squaring his shoulders, and firing a dart, giving his receiver a chance to make a play.
So an NFL catch on that far sideline.
Injury timeout.
And again, for A&T, if you can score before that 2-minute timeout, that gives you an option to kick it off if you so choose and rely on your defense. Use your timeouts.
We have seen Andrew Brown place the perfect onside kick this year in regulation against Hampton, and Aaron Harris recovered it.
We definitely saw that. A&T, again, you got to finish off this drive with a touchdown. You can't get into the red zone and into the scoring zone and come away with nothing. And that would definitely be a nail in the proverbial coffin for A&T.
Well, now Corian Sharp comes up limping. We haven't even had a play come off yet since the injured Bulldog, so not sure what's going on there. That's the last lineman you want to lose. He's your all-conference guy.
We hope that Corian Sharp is okay, but again, you on a offensive line that has struggled to protect Kevin White throughout this ball game, you hate to lose your best one.
White under pressure, throws, gets hit, and completes the pass to Carl Williams. And there's a flag. Kevin White is hurt. He's down.
Got absolutely plastered there. And Kevin White.
He's up now, thank goodness, for A&T, who have seen 6 quarterbacks go down this season.
And White going to be feeling it after
Personal
this one.
Foul. Roughing the pass.
That cold tub is going to be awfully helpful.
That penalty will be enforced half the distance
And
to the
for
goal.
White
Automatic. First down.
to be able to stay in this ball game and give A&T an opportunity to save a timeout on that, what may have been an injury timeout. But again, score before the 3-minute timeout. You can give yourself a chance.
Another red zone opportunity for North Carolina A&T. It will be 1st and goal from the 10. Three-back set.
Your Luntz having an outstanding ball game here. And I'm not sure the objective of that particular play call here. You don't want to get tackled inbounds. You don't want to waste a timeout. You got to score a touchdown. You want to preserve that time.
Too many east-west play calls in the red zone here. When you're this close to the end zone, you are going north to south. White throws it, completes the pass. Brown into the end zone. Touchdown, North Carolina A&T.
And that's all effort from Thomas Brown, who made the improbable catch on the sideline. He catches this ball on about the 4, makes a move, spins, gets into the end zone, and you score before the 2-minute timeout. So now you have an additional timeout with that 2-minute timeout, and you give yourself a chance. If you want to try to kick it off and rely on your defense, you can. And White, time there. Thomas Brown makes a defender miss, stays on his feet, gets into the zone.
5 plays and 55 yards, 105 off the clock. Andrew Brown on for the extra point. And that one is true. 22-16, North Carolina A&T behind with 3:05 to go.
And now the decision, do you kick it off or do you go for the onside? Now, if you kick it off, you know that South Carolina State is probably going to be conservative, run the football, force you to call your timeouts. And if you can't stop them, the game's over. Or do you go for the onside? You give yourself a chance to get the football, but if you don't, Bulldogs have a short field. You still got to use your timeouts. They punt it. You got to go 90 yards.
There is a third option here.
What's the third option?
Line up on sides and do one of those mid-soft pooch kicks and see what happens.
And I saw that. Did I see that last night? I watched a ton of football last night. I watched Fresno State, Colorado State. I watched Harvard and Cornell.
You're a student of the game.
That's how much I was watching football last night. So I thought I saw that on one of those games, and that is an option where the defense is really not accounting for that play.
Cornell's tight end and long snapper, Nolan Albright, a Greensboro native out of Grimsley High School.
The more you know.
First charge timeout.
His father was Ethan Albright, the longtime long snapper for Washington.
Well, my wife kind of made me watch Harvard Cornell.
Oh,
I was going to flick past it.
There's a reason for that.
I mean,
let her support her school. She's proud.
Harvard graduates are anyway, that's another story. But again, I watched Harvard Cornell. Well, who else did I watch last night? I watched a ton of games last night. North Texas and USF, which coincidentally South Carolina State played that USF ball club, and boy, they got it done last night. But going back to this game, that touchdown from A&T was important on two fronts. They scored it quickly before the 2-minute timeout, which gives them an additional timeout in their pocket and gives their offense the confidence that, hey, if we get in the red zone, we can score a touchdown. Because up to that point, 3 Andrew Brown field goals.
I mean, let's level set here. Outside of the first game this season, this is the best defensive effort we've seen from A&T. You have held a team that averages almost 400 yards of offense a game to 266.
You've played your butts off defensively. Now, a couple of turnovers gave South Carolina State short field, but defensively you played pretty well if you're A&T.
Andrew Brown has the ball on the tee. South Carolina State lined up like it's an onside-er.
I'd kick it over their heads.
Brown, the pooch kick.
And that's what Brown is doing. Gives yourself a chance
and
to
he keeps it in bounds. And, man, I should be a coach.
A little bit, probably about 3 yards too far on the kick from Andrew Brown, but great idea, great foreshadowing by you, Turk, and giving your team a chance to get it. But even still, you got essentially 3 timeouts with the 2-minute timeout. So
the field position doesn't kill you here.
Right, doesn't kill you if you are able to stop them. And South Carolina State does have to punt. They'll be punting into the wind. You look at the flags. Bulldogs will be punting into the wind. So if you can force a punt, you'll have decent field position to potentially go for a game-winning drive. But it starts here on defense. You got to get a stop.
Atkins out of the gun. Gives it off to Smith, and a big first down run does not help that situation for the Aggies.
Does not help at all. Preferably no gain or tackle for loss on that first down play for the defense for A&T. But again, I've seen 2nd and shorts turn to 3rd and shorts. I've seen 3rd and shorts turn to 4th and short, and you got to punt it. So that's why you keep playing. Good play, keep playing. Bad play, keep playing.
The play clock still being kept on the field as well, just a note. Atkins back to Smith. And this time, not much room to operate. And just like you said, a stop at the line of scrimmage makes it 3rd and short.
And now I don't even use a timeout. I let the 2-minute timeout be my timeout on a 3rd and short. You know they're probably gonna run it. I would look for them after the 2-minute timeout to do to fake the run and boot the quarterback. Use the legs of Atkinson.
We have reached the 2-minute timeout.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
6-point ball game in Greensboro. The 99th greatest homecoming on earth. We're back after this on Flow College.
The Aggies have had a focus on mental performance this season. They're working closely with a mental performance coach that have provided them with different tips and tricks. One of it is a snapback routine. So when things are maybe tight, like we see in this game here, or after a mistake or things like that, each player has their unique routine that snaps them back into the game. It starts with a word followed by an action. So for Thomas Brown, who just scored his first touchdown of the season, his snapback routine is to tell himself to lock in, and then he rubs his gloves together. It helps the players stay grounded and respond through the ebbs and flows of the football game. Back to you guys.
South Carolina State able to earn that first down on 3rd and short, and that is going to make things awfully difficult here for the Aggies.
Yeah, big first down pickup there for South Carolina State, but still, like Kobe said, job's not done. If you're the Bulldogs, you got to secure the football. We've had a couple of almost fumbles there. If you're A&T, I'm ripping at the ball, I'm peanut punching at the football. I'm doing everything I can to get the ball out of the ball carrier's hands to get it back over to the offense.
You know, Young Jock is performing.
It's going down. I think that's the only song
in the
that people
parking
know.
lot. Meet me in the club. It's going down. Meet me at Sullivan and Lindsay. It's going down here.
Meet me on the highway. I'm getting up out of here.
Good luck with that.
Well, I mean, not immediately. I mean, of course, I'm not going to be able to leave immediately, but I'm not saying.
Maybe in 2 hours.
Come on, man. 2 hours? That's rough.
The handoff to Smith, and he is brought down immediately. So another timeout is taken. No.
If I'm the coaching staff of A&T, I'm yelling, rip at the football, punch at the football, do whatever you have to do to get the ball away from the ball carrier.
2nd and 10. Atkins working out of the gun, sends Ellison in motion. Handoff to Smith. And he is stopped and a timeout is taken. So A&T calls the timeout.
Second charge timeout.
It'll bring up
North
third
Carolina
and long.
A&T, 30 seconds in length.
Well, if you're South Carolina State, you're keeping this on the ground, right?
You're definitely going to keep it on the ground. You're not going to throw the football.
Game
A&T,
clock operator, please reset the game
not gonna
clock
have any
to
more
1 minute
timeouts
and 7
remaining.
seconds.
You know, best case scenario for the Aggies, you get the ball back about 16 to 19
Game
seconds
clock
left in the
operator.
ball game.
Thank you.
You're going to have to go a long way to score a touchdown to take the lead, to tie it up and potentially take the lead with the extra point. But again, punch at the football, rip at the football. If you're the defense for A&T for South Carolina State, you got to treat that football like it's a precious metal. Do not give up the football here, or you'll be thinking about it for the rest of your life.
3 seconds have been added to the clock. It is 3rd and 8.
And it would be a gutsy move here to put the ball in the air potentially, but I don't foresee that happening.
Well, only a single back set. Delayed handoff. And Pickett Hicks looks like he has it, and he does.
And that's going to do it.
That's
Delayed
the ball game.
handoff. You got to know that they're not going to throw the football. As a defense, you don't let that delayed handoff trick you.
So the Bulldogs are going to claim victory in this series in back-to-back meetings and spoil homecoming in Greensboro.
And now for South Carolina State, the only formation that you're concerned with should be the victory formation. No timeouts remaining for A&T. Interesting.
Pickett Hicks on the carry.
Interesting that South Carolina State still choosing to run the football. It's an opportunity there to fumble it away. And
Final charge timeout, North Carolina A&T.
So A&T burns its final timeout. And that will just about do it here in Greensboro. Another tough break for the Aggies late in the game.
And A&T had their chances in the fourth quarter, even though they trailed by 2 scores.
2 costly turnovers and failing to get in the red zone.
And ultimately, that does it, because the first turnover for Kevin White, I'm not putting on Kevin White. The defense is in your face immediately. You do want to make sure that you secure the football, but you get 2 turnovers on consecutive possessions. Offensively, that allows South Carolina State to take the lead and ultimately build a 2-score lead, and you can't get it done in the red zone when you need it if you're A&T, and it's a bitter pill to swallow for A&T on homecoming.
So the Aggies will fall victim for the 4th straight game, have the week off, and then welcome Campbell to town.
North Carolina A&T 16.
South Carolina State also takes a week off, and then we'll travel to Norfolk State to see Michael Vick and the Spartans.
That's my souvenir.
Yeah, for A&T, it's homecoming. You're excited that you're seeing old classmates, family, and friends, but you'd love to get this win. You played well enough in the first half to get it. Things didn't go your way. You build off of it, and you keep going. South Carolina State, business as usual in the MEAC.
Well, for Raven Douglas and my partner Damian Banks, as well as our Flow College crew here in Greensboro, I'm Spencer Turkin saying so long from Truist Stadium. The final score 22-16. South Carolina State knocks off North Carolina A&T. You've been tuned in to the CAA on Flow College. Good afternoon, everybody.